So, hello everyone. Today we have Anu with us, and she has done PMP, I think in the March only, not very
Yes.
long ago. And we want to explore about her preparation journey and learn something for preparing for PMP exam. Now, before we get into exam specific conversation, let's know a little bit about Anu. So, Anu, why don't you give your introduction, a little bit about you,
Sure.
and then we get started. Yeah.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So, thank you, Saket, for this opportunity to talk about myself here and my PMP journey. So, I am working as an IT professional for last 14 plus years now. So, I started my career as a Java developer and then later switched towards agile methodology and working as a Scrum Master as well as a project manager in one of the organizations. And uh, for PMP, I would say that the planning is the most important thing because I also faced this thing in the beginning that I was struggling that what to study because with the 2021 exam, with the new syllabus coming in, new domains, I would say. So with that, I was little confused. But with looking at various videos, overall YouTube or any other places. So with that, I actually started collating things slowly, and then I progressively worked towards it.
Mhm.
So planning, I would say, is the major part, and the thing is time management. So these
Mhm.
two things are
Mhm, mm. So if I just say that in top your head, whenever you think of a PMP, so two things comes into the picture. One is that no, it's too much, and then plus there is a probability, and one may get cluttered into the content. So
Mhm.
one has to plan, how much content you want to explore and how you want to do it, when you want to do it, and that's what I am guessing you mean by planning.
Correct,
And then
correct.
you are talking about time management, maybe inside the exam also, because I also face many people who come to us and they share, we end up missing 60 questions, we end up missing 50 questions in the exam. So if you miss the question, definitely you miss a big chance of making it right. So I think that is what I'm picking up. Time management before
Exactly.
the exam and during the exam also, before the exam for
Both ways.
managing your content and then during the exam as well. Good.
Exactly.
Good, good. So before we even get into PMP space, what motivated you to do PMP? What is behind it?
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so PMP is a big buzzword, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So, going towards project management will get you stamped if you have a PMP. So, that
Mm-hmm.
was the major motivation for me.
Mm-hmm. So what I can say is that in your opinion, what you see in the around is whenever someone talks about project management, program management, you see kind of a de facto standard, the PMP is expected, even if they
Yes,
do whatever we did, but they want to see, and it gives kind of a credibility that, okay, you are there, you are doing project management. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah. So you are coming from agile background. You have done PMI
Mhm.
ACP also, and so if I ask, what is the difference between PMI ACP Agile and PMP Agile? Let me go little that way this time.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So what, in your
Uh,
opinion, how it is different,
yeah.
the Agile of PMI ACP or PMP?
So, PMIACP, I would say, helped me a lot to achieve my PMP. It was actually during the exam, I would say it was around 60 to 70% of agile and hybrid. So, my ACP played an important role over there. And yes, the I mean, in earlier days, I also once I started planning for PMP, I was also having an impression that I did a ACP, but probably PMP is way different from ACP. But yes, during the journey, I got to know that yeah, ACP was. I mean, I would give an advice to people who are going for ACP to better go for PMP rather than ACP, in my
Mhm,
opinion.
mhm,
Yes.
mhm. So what I'm sensing is that you might be sharing because of the brand visibility. So you may say that you
Yes.
get a certificate for PMI ACP that may not add you that much brand visibility. So why don't you do a PMP if you are eligible for that? Yeah, that much I'm sensing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yes.
if I just talk about agile, so type of depth of agile that PMI expect in PMI ACP and the type of depth it is expected in PMP. So what kind of a difference in the agile depth you see when you kind of roughly compare? I know it's a very difficult to answer, but in general, what is your feeling? Was more deep agile in PMIACP, or was more deep in PMP, or different flavor? What do you think about that?
No, PMP was not in that depth. Obviously, ACP being an agile certification was more talking about Scrum, XP, lean methodologies, and Crystal, and various things. But PMP was touching upon the basic ideas of all those things. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say PMP is 50% in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
ACP is in more depth
Okay, okay,
if you
okay.
talk about agile certifications. Yeah.
So if I just reiterate and just want a small validation there, so we can say that
Hmm.
PMI ACP expects you understanding multiple flavors of agile and little bit
Right.
expectation about transformation of agile. How do you bring agile in the organization? Various type of agile roles, various type of agile practices, be it extreme programming practices like test-driven development and all. But when you go for PMP, these kind of agile depth is not needed. Even the content outline is also not talking about it. So PMI is not saying
Correct.
that you should do that, but the PMP may expect that as a project manager, you should be able to work with an agile teams, which might be using those things, but you should be able to do your project management processes like time related stuff, the cost related
Hmm.
stuff, quality related stuff,
Right.
compliance related stuff with those teams. Yeah. Is it right to
Right.
say? Yeah.
Yes, yes. So ACP, if you say cost, it was just that cost. I mean, it wasn't in that depth, but yes,
Mm-hmm.
PMP with cost thing is more if we compare with ACP.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's the project management flavor stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Perfect. So let's pick up domain by domain. Yeah. If I just
Hmm.
ask you, and again, I understand each one of you have your unique experience, and it's very difficult to have a very absolute advice for anything. But roughly speaking, and we keep talking to the people. So the people becoming the major focus area of PMP. That's what I'm getting, and you can say
Hmm.
that my interpretation. So earlier we were too much process domain. Do this, do this, do this document, this analysis, this data, this lesson learned, and if you plug everything, the life will be smooth. But now the PMI may expect that okay, those all are good, but ultimately there are people, so you should know how to work with them, how to influence them, how to train them, how to motivate them, how to resolve conflict with them, and that's why the people domain focus is increasing.
Focus
So, what
more.
advice probably you want to give to the people who are preparing for PMP towards the people domain? What should they focus more on?
Hmm. So for people domain, for me actually the real life examples and situation helped me a lot. So
Mm-hmm,
I would say I am into people domain. I would say for last 6 years approximately. So that practical exposure I had helped me a lot. But yes, with going through practice questions and the actually during the our actual practical time, we sometimes take different paths also.
yeah, yeah.
But yes, during the exams, this has some ideal way of even if it's we talk about resolving the conflicts.
Yeah.
So yes, people domain helped a lot, I mean, with the practical experience, I would say.
Mm-hmm. So one can say is that experience of working with people, influencing,
Yes.
resolving conflicts, motivating
Hmm.
them, and when one prepare for PMP exam, then it's good idea to relate your practical experience with the content
Right.
outline, content area, so that you know what term is coming and probably where it relates to. Validate your understanding based on the practice test. Yeah. And the third thing which I'm
Absolutely.
picking up from your understanding is that sometimes you may not take the perfect path when you are doing in a real world, because each situation is unique. Yeah, the same situation when happen again, you may take a different solution. In the situation A, you may take a different solution because each situation is unique. But when you are getting into the exam, they don't like we don't have that much background of the situation, so we may
Right.
pick up the best practice kind of stuff, say what best should be done rather than imagining a lot about it. Is it right to say?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And also, I mean, during the exams, you multiple times you face a situation that you think that all four of them are correct. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, picking that exact right thing is the key.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And
Okay.
that you'll come from your probably the practical experience.
Practical experiences are all. Yeah, 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 yeah. So when you have a multiple options, especially in a people domain, then the practical experience may help you to understand the consequences of all the four
Correct.
options, and that way you can
Correct.
pick up the best possible thing. And I think that will also help us in reading the question well, what exactly the
Hmm.
person is trying to judge, what is the
Right.
trap they are
Right.
putting in front of you.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
reading behind the lines is really important thing.
Yeah. Sometimes I advise to people that think like questionnaire, what the questionnaire is trying to trap you in. So when you
Hmm.
think like, okay, what this guy is trying to judge me, and then you may see what are the possible trap he is putting for me, and then I don't
Right.
get into that trap and find the right answer, maybe the good thing.
Right. Right. Right.
Great. And what about the process area? What I'm hearing is that overall, we are not that much focusing on understanding each and every input output. Though input output were never the focus area.
Yes.
I have been telling it from last 8 years, but people still believe that input output was the PMP thing. But at least now I can say you should believe that input output is not the thing. What do you think about it? Yeah, the process input
Yeah,
outputs and all. Yeah.
I have same understanding as you're saying. So it was, I think, never. But yes, if you understand the concept in that way, probably you'll understand that what ITTU should be. But yes, for my 180 questions, there was zero, I would say, ITTU questions.
Yeah. So it's like this that and I just share with you, for example, you are developing team. So now
Mhm.
developing team is a whole journey. You develop team, you work
Right.
with people, you influence them, and you do an assessment, and you train them, you mentor them. Now this is
Mhm.
something you can understand that way also, that development team is this. But the ITTO helps you to see the nitty gritties of development team. Now you can say, okay,
Exactly.
these are the possible thing you use as an input, these are the technique you
Mhm.
may apply, and ultimately you may reach to a developed an
The
improvement in
goal.
your team. Yeah, improvement in the
Correct.
team. So better to
Correct.
focus on that philosophy of improving in the team and using ITTO
Right.
as a tool to understand the nitty gritty of that work, rather than thinking of, oh, this all I have to remember. Then you may lose
Yeah,
the purpose of
remembering
it.
will never help you.
Yeah. Yeah, you may get worried about your remembrance if you do that. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Good. So, anything you want to advise on the business space? I know the business space is not that very visibly coming out, but if you have something to talk about business space, business domain
Uh,
area, yeah,
I mean, I was
advice.
lagging in that side only,
Mm-hmm.
and practically telling you, I didn't focus much on that side. That being the lowest percentage of the exam, and my results also showed the same. Rest of the two above target, and for that, I was I mean, on target.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I didn't focus much.
That's also one can decide when they are doing their
Yeah,
time management and planning, that how do you want to do. You can take a reverse approach also, because there is a less number of content may want to focus more also. Some may want to
exactly.
focus more also, because it's just a small topic which can give you around 8% of the questions. But yeah,
Right.
at the same time, if you feel, because maybe many of the individual may not have a content for it, because the previous
Mm-hmm.
PMBOK is not covering that. PMBOK 6, what I don't say previous, the current PMBOK is not
Right.
covering the business domain that well. So maybe that's the reason people may not have a proper content. But if you do more research, then you can collect some content. The current PMI's
Correct.
exam content, the preparation they are sharing, it has a decent content on the business space. Yeah, yeah,
Correct, correct.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't revise much. I just went through to just understand the concepts, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Good. And if it helps, then what is the problem in that? Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
about, yeah. And in general, my belief is that we should not focus too much on the score of the PMP, because you don't have to align your project management by the book 100%.
Correct,
You can say that
correct.
I know project management and I understand what the book project management talk about. That's it. Yeah, yeah, that much is good enough.
Yeah, I mean, the practical situations are a little different than what we go through the ideal situation mentioned in the book. So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to deviate a little.
Yeah.
I mean, the basic concepts remain the same, but yes, situations
Mhm.
vary.
Perfect. Any advice you would like to give to the people in general, like which we have not touched upon for the PMP
Mhm.
preparation?
So, consistency is also important. I would say that don't extend your learning phase for the exam specifically. more than 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
3 months are more than enough. I mean, I practically did 2.5 months of studies, but yes, 3 months is more than enough, I would say. Beyond that, then you'll lose that charm, I would say, and you'll lose that focus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in your experience, you may feel that if it is not happening in 3 months, it may not happen. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Good, 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 good. Yeah, thank you, Anu, for taking time out on such a colorful day today. Yeah, so it's a real
Happy Holi to
yeah,
you.
happy Holi to you as well. So I can understand a lot of things might be happening here and there. So thank
Yeah.
you for taking time out for this
Thank you
this video.
for
Yeah,
your time also.
thank
Okay.
you, Anu. Yeah, bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.